Water. Water. Well, today on Tux Traveler, we're going to talk about finding water when you're on the road. You don't want to get stuck out here in the middle of sand dunes, look down, and realize that's all the water I have left. And so we have a lot of different places where you can find water. This one here, it might be the one that frightens most people. In fact, this is the one that frightened me the most when I moved into the van, because I had visions that I couldn't find water. I'm going to go into Walmart and buying those big 3-gallon jugs, dealing with a bunch of mess and all that kind of stuff. The reality is, finding water on the road is actually pretty easy. The first and foremost thing that I did is look around at the parks. Now, even if you're not regularly going to all of the national parks, you can swing by them, because especially if you're in the west, they're like everywhere. You can swing by them and top off your water supplies and leave. So Arches has full winterized year-round water jugs right at the very beginning, right past the fee gate there at the visitor center. You can top off your water supplies there. Also, in addition to your national parks and national monuments, which I've seen water at almost all of them, not every one, but almost every one of them, don't forget your municipal parks as well, particularly dog parks. You know, humans, never mind the humans, but you throw it up a dog park, you put up a watering fountain for your dogs. So I've seen those where you can just go into the dog park, top off your bottles, because they put all the spigots really low for the dogs. Don't do the same for humans necessarily, but many municipal parks will have water fountains as well, places where you can fill up, and these are all important things to do. And there's other places where you can get water too, so we'll talk about the rest of those on this video. So another place to find water when you are on the road is, if you have to, you can always buy it. Now, this is the thing I've not actually had to do yet. I've never had to go into a store and buy water, but it is an option. Going into many Walmarts, Lowe's, Home Depots, all those different places, they're going to have the ability to go in there and buy jugs of water. And you can buy the small gallons, but many of them have gallon refill stations. While we're on the topic of buying water, many cities actually have water vending machines where you can go and refill water bottles and jugs. They take coins or credit cards. I saw some in Las Vegas. Again, didn't have to use any of them, but they do exist. So worst case scenario, you're swinging by a Lowe's, a Home Depot, and you're just buying a bunch of jugs of water. So you're not going to do without water at all. Just kind of a thought that you can actually go ahead and purchase water in a variety of different places. As I said, the places I've seen it, Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, they all have water stations. Probably your office supply stores, because they're going to have water refill stations for, water jugs for offices. And look in the vending machines if you're in large cities, you can do that. So another place you can get water when you're out and about is campgrounds. And campgrounds, really, this is the difference between boondocking and going out into a campground itself. Because a campground, you're usually paying for a place that has some level of services. Now, services in paid campgrounds could be anything from just a pit toilet to entire services. So this one here, which is one of the campgrounds here, we have a whole sink washing station right here. There's a bathhouse over here. They may have showers, and yes, they will have water. And so when you are out, if you have no other real option, your supplies are running low, maybe even in some cases your power's running low, it might be worth paying a few bucks for a campsite where you can go in, you can use a restroom, you can get a shower, you can top off all your water supplies, and you might even be able to plug into an outlet to charge any house batteries the rest of the way up. So campgrounds is definitely a place to get water, so don't overlook that. If you're on the way, even if you're like, oh, I'm set up for boondocking, I don't really want to go to campgrounds, fine, I get it, but it might be worth paying 20 bucks, be there for one night, top off all your supplies, take care of all of your services, and then get back on the road. So that definitely is a good place where you can find some good drinking water. So here we're actually at an old gold mine, and I thought about, you know, the mining thoughts, finding good things. This one here was very profitable. But we talk about mining water, since that's what we're talking about in this video. And I want to talk about faith a little bit, because if you are a member of a religious community, you can oftentimes go and refill your water jugs at your places of worship. Now, I would not, if you are an atheist or you're not a participant of that particular faith, I would not go into a church and be like, hey, can I refill water? But in my case, I visit churches everywhere that I go, and as I visit different churches, I will participate in whatever is going on that week. And a lot of times people will be like, hey, if you need anything at all, you know, whatever, let us know. And I'm like, you know, I don't really need much, but can I top off my water jugs? And that happens a lot. And so don't overlook your faith communities, no matter whatever your faith is. You probably, if you have a place of worship and you are dedicated to hitting those while you are traveling on the road, then definitely stop by those places of worship and see if you can fill up water tanks. That generally is okay with most of them. Like I said, I would not do that if you're not a member of those communities or things like that. But it is certainly a place there where if you're not thinking of any other things out there to fill up your water tanks, your churches are a good place to do it. And that's actually where I filled up a lot of my water too. So there you have it, how to find water when you're out on the road. Hopefully this video is helpful for you. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if there's other van tips or road trips you'd like me to cover, feel free to leave those in the comments as well. Thanks for following along. And you can subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Turn on that notification bell, and we will see you a little bit further down the road.